Hey, what a beautiful day. It's BJ here. This video is for people that have been to Hawaii or used to live in Hawaii. I've had a few comments about that, and this is for you guys. This is a hash bomb. This beautiful girl right here, she's a clone actually from bombseeds.com. Super great genetics, super mold resistant, which is what you have to have out here if you grow outdoor. I grow greenhouse, but you definitely want it out here just because of the moisture in the air. You never know, you might get 40 days of rain, might get 40 days of no rain, or rain every day and hot as hell every day. It's the jungle. Here's a critical clone right here. Super tasty. I like to usually do a 1-generation clone off of my seeds. This one right here is a hash bomb, straight seed, no clone. See how fat those leaves get. Really nice. The hash plant mixed with the bomb seed works awesome. This one's from Royal Queen Seeds. I never had this one, so we'll see what it turns out. I did do a pinch top on it so you can see. One thing you do run into is if you have too big of colas out here, you can have mold because the cola gets too fat. And all it takes is when you're in flowering, a week of straight rain. But you just never know. You got to enjoy it though. These are some Samoan coconut trees. Really awesome. They're kind of like dwarf coconuts. And there's an avocado tree, just to show you guys a little bit of the yard. On my other farm, which is my buddy's place, where I used to live, I've got an ayahuasca vine from Terrence McKenna, one of the original vines he brought here, just broken off, super hardy plant. I also have Salvia divinorum plants, as well as at a different place there are I know people that have coca plants, which is ridiculous that coca is illegal to begin with, considering the plant's more like coffee and it's actually a healthy alternative, or switch up to coffee. But alright, well, I just thought I'd show you guys a little bit of my stuff. I don't really want to go too much into it. I don't want to show it all my security in the place, but just thought I'd share a little bit here. Then I wanted to just continue this video with a little bit in the news. I don't know, Justin Bieber is so ridiculous. He got into a brawl with some dude over an autograph, and he's just sick and tired of people thinking that he owes them an autograph or a picture taken with them, which I understand they get smothered. And honestly, I think this guy's as much of a victim as Miley is. I think they were bred and groomed, whether or not they do have the same genetics and they are GMO babies, if you've seen my other videos. But it really does make sense that he would even be considered that, because for a 22-year-old male to be as skinny as this dude is and have the money he does, he should be bulking up. He could easily pay for stuff that's close to steroids that are legal, or he could just be doing HGH. There's no testing for HGH or other steroids in pop music. They're not testing you for in pop music. Why isn't the dude bulked up? And he's got this super weak stash. Is he going through like some type of hormone therapy? Like, seriously, I wonder. And if you look at the way he dresses and the stuff he wears, I know this is like the cool new thing for young men to be super effeminate. It's ridiculous when I look at some of my friends' kids, how effeminate they are. And there are some that are still tough. I've seen tons of kids out here in Hawaii, especially the local kids, the local boys. They're still tough. They're still mean round boys. They're they eat their poi. If you don't know what that is, you just have to look into it. It's a product of taro. I just want to jump into the next thing. Pretty damn awesome. Clinton, I literally think, I know a lot of people think that she's going to make it. I think she's going to be brought down, and they're going to bring in somebody else, or Sanders is just going to take it, because here's Dolly Kyle, who it's well known that she and Clinton were had been hooking up for a long time. It's well known to anybody that's researched Clinton. And she's coming out talking about how Clinton brags about having sex with about 2,000 women, but it wasn't really that he was bragging, it was more that he was jealous about Wilt Chamberlain's 20,000. And he's like, that's 10 times how many I've banged. And everybody knows the dudes. I mean, Bill Clinton's not an ugly looking dude for a normal dude, obviously you can get women, and honestly, if you look at pictures of Hillary when she's younger, she doesn't look that unattractive. But this woman kept her figure, kept her look. Like Hillary, look at this, she totally, I don't know, that just shudders, I'd rather see other things. But yeah, so she's coming out. Not on top of that, you have the Clinton cash. You have all these books and documentaries are coming out. The Clintons are about to be majorly exposed. The people are sick of them. If she was rammed through, I don't even think they could do it. But if they did, there would be just as bad riots if Trump wins. And I think Trump would be more likely to win if you want to have the riot scenario. That or Obama assassinated. And a lot of people think that there's the Obama third term possibility. And I'm not throwing that out either. Next, I wanted to touch on Amal Clooney. I just did an article on George Clooney and her. It's so ridiculous. Amal Clooney to represent Yazidi sex slaves and demand an investigation against ISIS. By an international... Oh, really? ISIS? These guys will all of a sudden... I don't believe in the ISIS narrative anyways to begin with. But this is how retarded people are. To believe that you could even... If supposedly these guys are beheading and doing all this stuff... And honestly, they're so created. I think the ISS and the ISIS, they both came out, big. People, when you understand numerology, ISS is 9/11... Islamic State of Islam is basically 9/11. It's just ridiculous. 9191 emergency, and not to mention the ISIS just in general representation of the goddess. But you're gonna be able to have an investigation against ISIS? It's so retarded. I can't believe anybody would even listen to this, let alone report it as news. Last, I'm going to just touch up on the police state, and this is just a little video I'm going to play really quick. For those that don't know me, I'm not a stranger to jail. In my young 20s, I went to jail several times, and even late teens. Almost all alcohol-related, never injured person, all victimless crimes except for one. That's just my younger history, and I'm not like that at all in any way. But this is what pisses me off, is just police in general. It's just so ridiculous the amount of power people give to them. And we'll check on my comment I left on this right after. Just show a little bit here.
Phone down.
See, he could have went easily several times. What does he do? He just stops his car, comes out. He's in an unmarked vehicle. In no way how would you know that's a cop.
Because you're on your phone and I needed you to get off so that we could travel smooth.
Okay? Sometimes I'm required to be on my phone.
All I can see is this.
That's none of your business.
All I see is the driver impeding traffic.
Alright, you just have to watch the rest yourself. I just wanted to start to show, but it's so ridiculous. The police mentality. And I've totally seen it. And they will mention and they will talk about how it's like a brotherhood. And because it is, and I just want to get into Joe Arpaio. Joe Arpaio, of course, is 33. No wonder he's such a famous sheriff. He's also famous for his tent cities, which are likened to concentration camps. But people have to understand, I've been to jail a lot, and I would much rather be in a tent city than in a concrete lockdown building. And jail conditions are horrid. They are literally close to torture. I've been in jails where you're on 23 one lockdown, meaning 23 hours a day you're in your cell. You're allowed for 2 half-an-hour breaks out, and that time you can shower, but you're allowed out with only about 2-3 other guys. The rest of the time you have to sit in your cell. You're not allowed anything to read. You're not allowed anything to write. You're not allowed any of that. That's Ramsey County, Minnesota. Terrible. One of the worst jails. It should be... Literally, I've been stuck in a room with about 20 plus other guys. No toilet paper. No soap. Dudes have to shit. There is a toilet because if you've ever been in jail, the little toilet, they have open space. So, of course, everybody can see and smell this shit. Just fecal matter building up. Stuck in the room for 6 to 8 hours while everyone has to go through the court proceedings, and then they're put back in the room to wait until they're either released or put into a different area to be released or to go back to jail. And like I said, most of my arrests are alcohol related, like minor consumptions and warrants for my arrest. Stupid stuff like that I made when I was younger. I was an extremely wild young teen. And that's why I even go back to Bieber and why he didn't buff up. You're such a wild boy. Buff up. Shit, I would have been so... I mean, I was a big dude. I was about like 225. I'm 6'3". Great shape. Could dunk, could yoke. But, yeah, any jokes about how it's described as a concentration camp. But honestly, people should be more worried about the jail conditions. Prison's a lot better than jail. Most prisons. And I've heard it from several dudes who've been to prison. If you have a choice between a year and a day, a year means you're going to jail. A year and a day means you're going to prison. I've heard guys even say they would opt for the year and a day because you get a lot more benefits in prisons. And don't get me wrong, I've been to some cush jails. I've been to jails with volleyball court, basketball court, over 200 newly released VHS movies to watch, vending machines, dudes smuggling in drugs, pretty much just like a Hicktown annex for a bunch of meth heads who all got caught making meth, but they're all good old boys so they're like treated like it's like a day camp. Honestly, it was like vacation going there. And I'm not saying that's how jail should be by any means. I'm just saying it's crazy how jails vary in difference. And with that, just to show you guys, it's all part of the Brotherhood. If you don't know what the Fraternal Order of Police is, the FOP, Fraternal Order of Police, this is what most of the higher-up police members are belong to. You know, the chiefs. I've seen Masonic logans straight up on chiefs, or sheriffs running for sheriff, for office. Just like, you know how judges run for, to be judges. I've seen straight up Masonic signs on those. But the FOP, blatantly Masonic. You got the all-seeing eye, you got the secret handshake, checkerboard floor, 3 towers, the pentagram. My dad, literally, when I just started getting into magic and conspiracy stuff, my dad literally put this sticker on his car, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? I was like, do you know what that is? And he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I was told and I was given this that if I put this on my car, I'll never be bothered or pulled over by police again, or I shouldn't be. So I'm putting it on my car, and I was like, Dad, don't you know what kind of magic you're using? Don't you realize what you're using? You know, and I was younger, and and I was still new in my studies, but I knew at least to the degree it's a sigil. And my dad was just like, he didn't care. He was more concerned about being pulled over, and he's a hardcore Christian too. It's just really funny how a hardcore Christian's like. I mean, a lot of Masons are Christian. Like I would probably guess about. Well over half, probably 75% of Masons are in some type of Christian denomination. Even though they're practicing Kabbalists, a lot of them don't even understand it. But with that, I'll leave you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Only you can make yourself unhappy in the sense that only you can control your desire and your suffering. Really, it's only up to you if you're having a bad day. You let somebody get to you, that's you letting somebody get to you. But smile, try to make somebody else happy, and love yourself. Aloha, peace out.